you did all of this. It had nothing to do with who or why you did it for. It was more the greater good, your influence. You've gone through it. You want to help others. You want to treat the whole problem, not part of the problem. But what got you into, call it the celebrity circuit, entertainment circuit?
Yeah. Well, the first few living in LA, you're just bound to work with different entertainers. And I think the first kind of big family I worked with was the Osbournes. This is like over 10 years ago. I did Kelly Osbourne's intervention. I went on her podcast. That's why I can talk so freely, whereas a lot of people I can't. And I worked with that family, and that was kind of my first taste. And I was young. And then what would happen is I started working with different people who are in crises, like bad crises. They wouldn't go on stage on a tour. And the consequence for them personally was huge financially if they did not deliver and perform. And so I would go out, and people through word of mouth would start saying, oh, you got to call Mike Bair. And then over time, it went from like working with crises to working with bands that were breaking up or kind of reinventing. And then after that, it kind of went towards people who had public breakups. And then it started getting into record labels calling me to help figure out how to help someone live in their art, like what mattered. How would their brand be put out in the world that was authentic? How do they express themselves? How do they express themselves creatively on a music tour? And it just is like evolved. I'm one of those guys that like, I love new passions in self-help after I feel like I've kind of reached my own measure of mastery in a certain arena. So I haven't, I don't personally work. I wouldn't be the guy today if I got a call for someone who needed to get sober in the middle of a music tour, I'm not flying out anymore. I did that for years. I'm much more geared now these days. So I had no intention of ever doing television. And I met Dr. Phil 3 years ago, and he asked me at a lunch if I wanted to go on an episode. And I never realized that I would have the ability to help more people by going on a big platform. I always was kind of like, well, why would someone want to go on television? Even though I worked with these people, like I understood it for music. I understood it for actors, but I kind of just didn't want to be seen. And I didn't want to speak at events. I didn't want attention. And then he asked me to go on his show, and then fast forward, I've been on maybe 40 or 50 episodes. He's like, you need to write a book. And then suddenly he flew with me to Dallas, and he's like, this is your agent and you need to deliver it in 4 months. Like, he's been my mentor. And that was never on my vision board or in my like thinking of like, oh, this is that next phase. But I feel like when you keep doing great stuff and you're really passionate about what you do, even better circumstances come into the mix when you're not trying to control it or force it. And that's just been my experience. It's like, help someone as much as I can. Out of that just comes other opportunity.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, check out one of these other clips for all the latest tips and insights. We'll see you next time.